Hello YouTube, here it's Lisa Stade of the Lisa Stade YouTube channel and Hitler Obsessed. Uh, I'm here with y'all to welcome you back. Sorry for not uploading a video last week. I was a bit busy with some things. But I was going to do a review of the movie of 2004 Downfall. I know I did one that was of the Hitler Rant Apologies, and this week I will do the movie of 2004. It's with Bruno Gans, I guess it is Bruno Gans, who plays the main role of Adolf Hitler in the 2004 movie of Downfall. That's about the last days of Adolf Hitler and his death, suicide in the fuel bunker. Uh, and the final fall of the Third Reich in the Battle of Berlin. Uh, this movie did get a lot of criticism when it first turned up. A lot of Germans kind of felt very much offense to it. I remember a lot of other people did when it first turned up in the Toronto films. There, you can see those videos about the Hitler Rant apologies. For obvious reasons, people found that offensive there. But today I'm going to talk about the history that goes behind this film with the actual plot to 2004's Downfall there for you. So beginning of the start of the movie, you have Trudel Jung and her friends there, or little best friends. I guess you call them sisters. You could say sisters, but not the biological sister or whatever. Like a friend. Your sister, your best friend, or I guess your friends and her girls, not girlfriend. But no, her friends and her girls. But it starts off beginning with the plot with a clip from another documentary of the actual Trudel Jung, who is an aged senior citizen old lady starting off saying, I can't feel ashamed for, when I was young for my decision to be Hitler's secretary there. She was around him in his inner circle, so she was should have known about the camps, but somehow Hitler was so secretive that none of the secretaries would know about that stuff. Uh, So you have her talking about how, she feels ashamed now for being Hitler's secretary there. But, when she was younger, she didn't know any better because, she was raised in the Third Reich where you are supposed to adore Adolf Hitler and worship him as this second coming of Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior that was this fuel that made Germany great again. And, so so the beginning of the plot shows what's her name, Trudel Jung there with her friends there. Uh, Apologize for the background. It sounds like someone's hammering here. Sorry, we're doing a bit of construction here. Sorry about that. Sorry for if you can hear that in the back there. But okay, so she's the beginning. The next scene is of her, Trudel Jung when she's younger, and a couple of girlfriends walking through a forest there. That's pretty much on the way to the Wolf's Lair. And yes, Hitler did have the Wolf's Lair pretty much security, 3 areas and levels of security. And you had to meet stationed guards there, sentries, I guess you call it, or guards there at guard posts to let you in. You give paperwork, say, hey, I'm Trudel Jung. I'm here to see the Fuhrer, and you gotta be loud, and you have to do that 3 times before she would be sent to Hitler's actual fuel bunker there in the Wolfslayer. This isn't the fuel bunker in Berlin, it's the one in Wolfslayer. If you remember the Valkyrie movie, that's the big bunker complex that was supposed to be the original meeting of Valkyrie, but ended up being that little meeting hut that got blown to bits there. Uh, so she ends up meeting one of Hitler's attendants there, uh, one of his aides there, who introduces her and says, there's a certain way you have to, introduce yourself, state your name, what's your profession, where you're from, all the formal stuff, when Hitler comes out of his study, though his office, it's at the scene there, he's in his study there, he's actually found out to be feeding his dog. And yes, the film wanted to show that Hitler was more human than your usual typical Hitler film. And yes, that did get a lot of criticism because people found that probably most likely offensive to portray somebody as a mass murdering person as, dare I say it, feeding a dog. No different than me feeding a cat or Hex or, petting Ozzy or, playing with the body with Ash and Lucy, the little feathery board. If you see one of my videos, it's the one of the trailer up there for you to see. Uh, but yeah, that did get a lot of criticism about Adolf Hitler. Gosh forbid, if you portrayed Hitler as not this vast, moldering, horrible person, probably kicking his dog, or, just flogging, with the cat of nine tails, one of his generals, portraying him as human. Which is pretty much what they show him of feeding his dog just before he's, welcoming the Trudeau Jung and her friends there who are offered positions into being secretaries at the time. With Hitler's secretary. Yes, they went through hiring. Guess they sent in their resumes that they wanted to be secretaries because Hitler was looking for secretaries there. Uh, and yes, they end up asking the aide there in the movie, do we have to show the old Nazi salute, what my grandpa would call old Sieg Heil and say Heil Hitler or Heil Mein Führer? And the aide was like, no, that's what the generals do. This was before the July 20th plot, so that ended up becoming mandatory. And so, like, it's the old Kyle thing, being around Hitler of the inner circle, I guess. Uh, don't know if that's very accurate from the movie. Don't know. I'm just going by the plot, if that's even accurate at all. Maybe Trudeau Jung was pretty accurate. She was Hitler's secretary anyway. I'm pretty young to be going around saying I'm a secretary of Hitler, so too young to say that. I'm just going by, facts and the decided sources, the interviews of this woman. Uh, so Hitler comes out and asks everyone, their name, what profession they worked at, what place they came from, and their age. And Trudeau Jung is the first to come into Hitler's study, and Hitler has a sit down and type up one of his speeches as he's watching her. She ends up making mistakes, and Hitler's like, I've done it so many times, no biggie, fair dinkum, okay, pretty much he ends up hiring her. And yes, like I said, again, this did get criticism because it portrayed Hitler as this human gentleman kind of person, and a lot of Hitler's inner circle uh realized that Hitler did have this Austrian gentleman Viennese from Vienna kind of gentleman lifestyle that he had. It was very suave and gentleman-like. He's the kind of guy that I guess would hold the door open for you. probably not what I would think of Adolf Hitler, I guess. So most of us here on YouTube or the world would think of Hitler. But this is from Hitler's inner circle. I would find issues with Spear. I think he was trying to portray Hitler in a bit of a different light than most of us, and more accurate about Hitler. Because there's other stories of, some of his generals being fearful of the guy throwing the ink pot at him. And, getting Hitler's military tunic thrown at their head because he didn't like the looks of it that day and decided to wear one and thought, oh, everyone liked it, oh, make 10 of them. That's the kind of boss they were living with. A lot nicer than, I guess, what everyone else had to suffer from. Horrible guy. Just got nice around once he got to the inner circle. Terrible guy all around, I guess. I know. He was a horrible mass murderer, but somehow he acted weird around his inner circle, which was a bit odd. Would not consider that glorifying, consider that almost awkward in my opinion. But then Trudeau Dung ends up getting hired and all the little friends there. And the next scene is of Trudeau Dung there, and no friends, sleeping in on Hitler's birthday in the upstairs area of the apartments there at the Chancellery while Russian artillery is blasting, and they're pretty much woken up wondering, where is this all coming from? That sounds pretty close. Let's head down to the bunker. And this is the day of Hitler's birthday at the time. Of his 56th birthday on April 20th, 1945. Well, every year Hitler would have all the Nazi leaders swear their allegiance in one of the conference rooms or whatever in the Chancellery. And everybody that was a Gauleiter of the districts in the Third Reich that they had there, of the Gaus, which were the districts in the Third Reich, would all pledge their allegiance and loyalty and wish him a happy birthday and give him gifts and stuff. That people just went insane in the gift giving for this guy. Horrible guy. But horribly tacky gifts too. Goes well with it, I guess. So this is pretty much gonna be practically the end of part 1. I'm gonna continue with part 2 here next, which is I'm gonna be signing off here saying this is Lisa Stayed here, the YouTube channel Lisa Stayed and Hitler Obsessed. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel of Lisa Stayed and Hitler Obsessed. Make sure to like this video and all my other videos on YouTube here on Lisa Stayed. Become a subscriber here to my YouTube channel of Lisa Stayed and Hitler Obsessed. Leave me a comment on this video, any video here on YouTube on my channels of Lisa Stayed and Hitler Obsessed. You can donate to my Patreon and my subscribe star. You can visit my BitChute channel of Lisa Marie Stayed. You can send me a comment on Facebook, would be nice if you want to. I'm trying to keep up to date with replying back to all. If you need help, ask someone who might know how to, set you up a YouTube account. I mean, all the subscribers help. Let's get 1,000 here and 1,000 public watch hours here. Why don't we? And, thanks and bye. Now on to part 2 here.